If y'all want to make a YouTube channel, make sure you don't make videos when you hungry as a motherfucker. Cause my stomach feel like it's going through my goddamn back right now. Like, bruh, come on. And I need a cut looking like fucking Reggie Evans. I really said Reggie Evans. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What's going down, y'all? Welcome to another video. Today's video, man, it wasn't supposed to be a Steph Curry tutorial. I was just gonna do a shadow fade, curl sponge video for you guys. But as I was editing the video, I was just like, this kind of, it is the Steph Curry fade. Unintentionally, y'all know what I'm saying. It wasn't supposed to be a Steph Curry haircut, but it is. The only difference I can find between the two haircuts is my client's hair is a little bit longer and his forehead smaller. That's the only difference between the two haircuts. Now look, I know there's a lot of Warrior fans on this channel around the world that are watching this video. I know, but is it just me? Wait, barber to barber. I'm talking barber to barber here. His cut never be like fresh. Like, I need to bless him. I don't like the Warriors, but I will bless him with the cut. I don't know, get Steph Curry to watch this video, hook it up. I will make a video if I cut him. Y'all will see the difference between his haircut now and when I bless him. I don't want to sound like a fan or anything, but he need to be in contact with me, you feel me? Anyways, man, let's get into the video. All right, so we're gonna start by combing out his hair, the bottom of his hair, not the curl part of his hair. And then we're gonna spray water and then pick his hair out. I spray water because it's easier to pick. It's less painful for your client. Now we're gonna begin to ball out his taper areas. This is gonna be a mid-ball taper, so there's not gonna be any sideburns. So I go from the bottom of his box to the top of his ear. And the taper in the back, y'all, this is gonna be a higher taper because the tapers on the sides are gonna come down into the taper in the back. So it doesn't really matter how high you go on this. So just make your guideline, flip the clipper over and bald it out like that. Now we're gonna grab our Ulster Fast Feed #1 guard and begin to shape out his fade. The lever's all the way open, that's a #1 guard. I don't know if I said that, but #1 guard all the way open on our Ulster Fast Feed and begin to shape his fade. It's gonna drop down. You don't wanna make this fade too high because it just defeats the purpose of the haircut. So carry that longer on the back and on to the other side. So after you do that, we're gonna begin to fade that from that 1.5 up into his curl. So I go with my #2 guard and flick out. I'm not even trying to make another guideline. It's basically like clipper over comb. If you guys are familiar with clipper over comb, this serves the same purpose. So that 2 guard all the way open, just flick out into the top of the very top of his fade up into his curls. And from there, we're gonna close that #2 guard. So it goes 1.5 and then that long #2. And in between those 2 layers, we're gonna go with 2 closed. All right, so do the same thing in the back and then the other side. With this, the main thing I can stress about is flick your wrist out. You can see my wrist is just flicking out. So it's not making a guideline. It's just trying to blend that hair all the way up into the long curl hairs, the long curly hair. Y'all know what I'm saying. Now we're gonna do his back taper. And if you've seen any of my videos, this is gonna seem really repetitive, but we're gonna grab our Ulster Fast Feeds closed, make our first guideline. Open the lever up and make another guideline right on top of that. Like I said, this taper is going to be higher, so the guidelines are bigger, if that makes sense. And in between those 2 layers, you just want to open and close, flick out to knock out the line in between the 2 layers. I feel like I've talked a lot in this video. Hopefully y'all catching on with what I'm saying. God bless me. now we're gonna grab our 1/16 guard closed and make another guideline. So between that open with no guard up into that 1/16, we're just gonna open and close, flick out the lever to blend from that open with no guard up into that 1/16. I just feel like my teaching skills, it's just been on 100 lately. Like I could probably teach you how to be a doctor. Like my teaching skills is crazy. I'm stupid. Alright, so from that 1/16 guard closed up into that 1.5 that we initially used to carve out his fade, we're just gonna open and close our one guard and fade up into the top of his taper. Now between opening and closing our number 1 guard back to that 1/16 guard, in between those 2 layers, you just want to open and close our 1/16 guard. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a lot of confusing with the 1/16, but hopefully you are catching on. And to finish up this taper, man, I'm just gonna go in with my wall detailers. This works with any liners that you have. Just flick out that bottom line and your taper's done. Now to do his side taper, it's the same exact steps as the back taper. So we're gonna go with our Archer Fast Feet closed, make our first guideline. Then we open up that lever and make another guideline right on top of that. And in between those 2 layers, just open and close, flicking out to knock that line out in between the 2 layers. Now this is where that shadow fade comes in. Our 1/16 guard, we're gonna carry it down into the back taper, which is a long number 1. So we just have to fade from that 1/16 up down into a long number 1, if that makes sense. That 1/16 guard close all the way down to the back of his taper, we're gonna go with our 1 guard to fade up from that 1/16 up into that long number 1 that we initially used all the way down to the back of his taper, if that makes sense. It's all gonna blend from that 1/16 up to that long number 1. And the gap between that 1/16 closed and the number 1 guard open and closing, we're gonna open and close our 1/16 guard to blend from that 1/16 up into the open and closing of the number 1. Hopefully y'all understand. And again, to end this taper, we're just gonna use our wall detailers, use the corner of the blade to knock out that bottom line. Alright, now we're gonna prep his hairline, so I'm gonna comb down all the little hairs that aren't standing up into his curls. Then I take a 1 guard with the grain and knock down all the hairs that aren't standing up into his curls, like I said. This just makes the lineup cleaner, makes it more noticeable, if that makes sense. It makes it more sharper. I dust those hairs off and spray them with some alcohol just to give me a clean canvas to work with, and blow dry that in. And all I can say for lineups, man, this is what I always say, is keep it natural, keep it sharp, make sure those corners line up and make sure they're perpendicular. Corners are the most important part of a person's haircut. That's what makes it look symmetrical, you know what I'm saying? So keep it natural, keep it sharp. Clean up and shape his fro, so I just take my shears and knock down any flyaway hairs or any hairs that are sticking out. If your client needs a lot of bulk taken on his hair, I would suggest using your clippers all the way close the lever and shape it like that, but my client just needs a clean up, so I use my shears. And to make his taper pop out more, I just take my electric shaver and hit the bottom of his taper. Make sure you guys flick out, because you don't want to create another line at this point. Just like a lineup, man, razor is very simple. There's not much I can tell you. Just keep it flat, pull the skin, make sure you're not cutting the client, make sure you avoid any pimples, because if you nick it, it will bleed. Clients freak out if you make them bleed. So just be careful, have a slight hand, and keep the razor flat. Alright, before you use the curl sponge, you want to pick his hair out and spray some hairspray. This is just regular old spritz, but you can use hairspray. This is what's going to hold your curls in place when you do use the curl sponge. And after that, man, you just want to go in a circular motion. Don't press down too hard, and don't freak out if your client's head moves a lot, because you are moving in a circular motion, so his head is going to move. But just go in a rapid motion, rapid circular motion, and knock it out like that. It's real simple. There's not really much you need to do. It does all the work for you. And to bring out some shine in his curls and his overall haircut, I use some oil sheen. It makes it smell good and makes it shine. But that's gonna do it for this video. As always, thanks for supporting, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys do like this haircut. Comment down below if this looks like Steph Curry's haircut. If it doesn't, I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to be a Steph Curry tutorial, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video anyways. Hit that like button if you liked the video, hit that subscribe button for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.